Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Immigrant Section. It's your boy Abbas Wahab. Thanks for tuning in. We got another popping one for you. With me today in the studio, my man Gabe Koury.
What's going on?
What's going on, brother?
It was a rough one today.
Yeah?
Last night I got the drunkest I've gotten. I was like the most lit up I've gotten in like about a year. Like last
on
night
what
was
occasion?
wild. Okay. I work in the music industry. I book a club. The club had its, I don't want to say grand reopening by any means.
What's the name of the place on Queen again? I forget.
Bovine Sex.
The Bovine, yeah.
And shows were back at Bovine on Friday and yesterday as well. And both shows were great, sold out. They were fun. But I don't know what it was. Just like yesterday, I just kind of felt fed up a little bit. Just at the end of the day, it was a long day, whatever. And then everyone's just buying me shots. People were smoking me out on joints.
Do you bartend after you booked the show, right?
Yeah, I just booked the show.
So do you watch every show you book?
Not always.
Okay.
No,
in this case, you were there.
This time, yeah. I mean, it's the first.
It's just coming back.
Shows like on top of it, dude, they were sold out, so there's no tickets available at the door. So someone had to be there with the will call list to like check people's names.
Gotcha.
So I was technically, you know, when you see like in a movie and there's like a nightclub and there's just like a
clipboard,
a dude, a clipboard and like a headpiece and
yeah.
Oh yeah, you could go in. Like that was me on Friday and Saturday on Queen Street. It was kind of funny.
And people are buying you shots when you got the clipboard or after the show started?
No, it was after the show. But it happened like rapid speed, and then someone smoked me out on a joint, and I was lit up. I left my bike at the club. Like I had to take an Uber home. And I threw up beside my bed. Like first time I threw up because first time I puked like because I got too drunk. You know what I mean? Like
in a while,
in a long time. Yeah, dude, I'm 33. Like I kind of know how to get drink now. And just yesterday was just like not the case.
They kept buying you different alcohols. That's what it was.
That's 100% what it was.
That's
it was
what
a
it
Jaeger,
is.
It was a
That's
Jamie.
what it is.
It was another Jamie. It was a Weiser. It was another Jaeger. And I'm drinking gin and tonics. That's like my beverage. That's the thing I like to drink. But it's just the culmination of the three and then a couple, smoking weed. And one joint had hash in it too. So I was like, I'm at the party. Like I kind of like, you make your bed, you sleep in it. Like I kind of requested to get fucked up, but like the vomiting beside my bed, like my cat like got out of my bed and ran away. So I was like, run, like doing the. And
you're like, I'm relearning this shit.
Oh yeah, dude. And
yo, I gotta know, is it who's cooler to be around, the music crowd or the comedy crowd? Because you do stand up and you book this thing, so you're like a music head.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, yeah. I mean, I've been playing music. I've been playing bass. That's my weapon of choice, I guess. I've been playing bass for 20 years actually this year.
God damn, dude, man.
In June of 2001, I was 13, and my dad got me bass lessons for a few months.
That's my music instrument of choice in rock band.
Bass is bass. Yeah, bass is
bass group.
You need bass. You need bass in general. But anyways, music and comedy. It's weird. It's kind of weird.
Come
but
a
at
little
the same
closer
time,
to the mic, by the way.
It's kind of weird, but at the same time, I would feel like they're very similar.
Yeah,
because like they're fans. Like people go to the shows. Not just saying.
Yeah. So tell me the fans and tell me the
So bands are different. Bands are a little bit different. Bands. It depends. Bands. Some people think they're owed everything. And some people are just super easygoing and easy to work with, which is great. And then some people are easygoing, but they're flaky. There's always like a amalgamation of all these fucking weirdos. But like music fans and comedy fans, they're both nerds.
Yeah.
The fact that you're like, I'm gonna pay $10, $15, $20 to sit in a room with all these other weirdo strangers to see good quality comics, and
kind
good
of
quality
no
comedy,
names,
but they're almost still they're
no
not like
names.
you're not going to an arena to go see Cardi B or Billie Eilish. You're going to go see like last night Loose Teeth or whatever. You're going to go see Abbas Wahab and Max Seldrick at Nothing Fancy. Like you're seeing good quality content, but it's not like the big names you might hear.
It's not brag worthy names.
It's like and that's why like I find like their fans are very very similar and which is wicked, and I think that's kind of cool. It's maybe why I guess I could digest it the same. But like
musicians versus comedians.
Man, that's a weird one. Once again, it's a weird one because, dude, how many people do you meet? They crush at 2-3 shows as comics. Like, they crush at 2-3 shows, and they think like, or like they do a show and with Olivia Stadler on it, and they're like, okay, well, I'm ready to go get my Crave special. And when it's like 2 years in, but there's musicians. And I just brought Olivia. I just set up Olivia just as like discussion.
Oh, it's a Toronto podcast. Just drop the name.
Yeah. I'm just saying her as an example there. And then like there's bands that have like that are like they went on like one Ontario tour and they opened up for Our Lady Peace once in some farm like in.
And this is their call
and
to fame.
It's like yeah, this is like it's like yeah, you know what I mean, like
yeah.
It's the contrast. The only thing to me that's the true difference between stand-up comedy and music is that music, you have to still learn how to play your instrument. And whether the music that you create is good or not, it's subjective to the fans or the people that are going to be liking it, right? If a joke is not funny, disregarding if you're a fucking weed guy, a fucking feminist comic, edgelord 5000, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If the joke's not funny, the joke's not funny.
Okay, yeah. People can't
You know
be
what I
like,
mean?
oh, he held that mic pretty well, though.
There's
Right,
it's never, no one's ever be like, oh, I love that guy. He's awesome. He sucks.
Yeah, right? His
He-
mic abilities are crazy.
He eats a bag of dicks every night. He's sick. You want to go see him? Like, no one ever says that. But there's music, there's bands. Like, you have a Tame Impala poster here.
Yeah.
Like, there's people that are going to think, like, oh, I don't like Tame Impala. That sucks. Like, you think it sucks. But there's, like, millions of people legitimately, because they're a very popular band, that love that band. Right? But if there's a bad comedian, because they're not funny.
Oh, yeah. They're not funny to anyone.
They're not funny.
Yeah.
There's no, you can't win.
But it does get into the weird space of, like, the alt-right and the very liberal audiences where it's like, even if it is funny, it's triggering, so it's not funny. It's
And
like
then-
that weird space.
And then the unfortunate side when it's left,
Yeah.
which sucks because then I hate that because it's like if anything, like my ideals maybe identify more with the left. But the thing is that super safe spacey left kind of comedy, I don't think it helps anyone.
No. It's neutered. It's like
And neutered's
it's
a good word for
neutered. It's in
neutered.
an echo chamber. It's like
And then, but it's also the same thing on the right, on the right too, right? I don't know. It's weird, dude.
the right is not neutered. At least it's still an echo chamber, but at least it's not neutered.
No, then they're not neutered. They're flagrant. They say whatever they want.
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
fine, but
Then they
it's
say
like-
stuff to trigger the left almost.
That's the thing. So I don't know. It's really weird. It's really weird.
You had me. I remember
Yeah.
in the middle of COVID, you started a podcast called,
Bow your eyes, close your head.
and you had me on, and I remember
Yeah.
we had a fucking awesome talk.
Yeah,
and it
we
was-
did have a great conversation.
Because
Yeah.
the whole thing I was talking about was how I came up really Muslim, and you came up like,
Pentecostal.
some next level thing. I totally forgot.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
aggressive in it too, right?
It was okay. For people that are not from the Pentecostal faith by any means, it seems like it's a lot. Like when my friends would be like, "Oh, your family's very religious," but the thing is, within my Christian friends or the circle of the families that we grew up with in our church, my family was a little bit more
Pretty
liberal.
moderate.
Yeah, a little bit more liberal. Like we passed Halloween. Most of my friends that grew up on Halloween, they will go to church and they'll play they'll play ball hockey or watch movies.
Like, come
or
have fun here
whatever.
away from the Devil's Day.
But like exactly. But my father, who became a born again Christian, so he didn't grow up in the church. He loved Halloween. He loves candy, likes Halloween costumes.
So you guys can separate.
Yeah, we were able.
Yeah.
We were, and on top of it, a lot of my friends that I grew up with in the church, the rest of their families also were within the church as well.
Okay.
Whereas a lot of my family didn't go to church. So it's like, I had some family members, but not as much. It was, so it's like within the church, like the ilk of the church people, we were a little less like strict or stringent on stuff.
Yeah,
My parents, like I had a red mohawk.
But were you at church every week?
Yeah, dude. Friday nights for youth group. Sundays.
Yeah.
Sundays early because we go to Sunday school first.
It's the sermon.
And then then the sermon.
Mass.
And then sometimes it was a sermon. Mass is more like a Catholic thing that they.
Oh, mass and sermons are different.
Yeah, sermons can be kind of cool if you have a good pastor.
What's the difference between a mass and a sermon? Is one Catholic, one your thing?
Yeah, sermon.
And real quick,
a sermon,
is your
a service. It's like
Is your thing under Protestant?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like like I said, with my family, like, we were like my parents let me play in bands like outside of church at bars. They didn't mind it. They kind of trusted me and trusted my friends that I was playing music with. Because my first band I was 16 and all my bandmates were like 21, 22. Like I was a chubby little 16-year-old there with a mohawk and a tie, but I ripped on bass, so like I joined their band, and like my parents were cool with it. They didn't like chastise me about it or nothing, and they're very supportive.
They liked music, or they thought like, oh, him in a group thing will only benefit him.
Yeah, but also with the music, because like my mom's side of the family is very musical. My grandfather plays bass. My mom sang in the choir. She actually studied choir. Like she was able to lead choirs and stuff.
Fuck,
like conductors doing that.
Yeah,
shit. She did that, and she choir. And my uncle played trumpet. Like that side of the family is very musical. So my mom.
And this was the Lebanese side.
That was the Italian side. The Lebanese side though wasn't very super musical inclined in that way, but they loved to dance and party. My dad used to help DJ disco and like with strobe lights with old Lebanese afro and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like both sides like to have fun and are kind of funky, but one's a little bit more technically musical, I guess, in that respect. So yeah, I think maybe like they didn't make a stink or put up any aggravation because it's like, oh, he's being productive with the talent that he has.
That's
and on
sick,
top of it,
dude.
I still played in church too. So I would like play in the, and I would
See,
sometimes
that's
play
the
in
thing that I like
church.
about Christianity
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Islam is that they that musical portion in the worship.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They don't have that, man. Islam, there's no musical. Like, there's a lot of the Muslim countries,
Yeah, yeah.
all of the singing that
Yeah.
happens pretty much has to be like Sudan, all of the singing is like, it's God-based. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, God this or God
Well,
that.
dude,
you know what I
worship
mean?
music is very much the same.
It's the same, like,
But it's a lot livelier.
engine of
yeah.
like music,
Yeah.
different lyrics, right?
100%, yeah.
But like still, like I used to grow up and because I used to be in the Friday, I'd go to Friday prayer every Friday, and I would have Saturday, like growing up,
Yeah.
I would have Saturday school,
Yeah.
so probably very similar to your Sunday school.
Yeah.
Mostly Arabic, not necessarily religion.
Okay.
But I
Oh,
did
okay,
have
okay.
one earlier before that was religion as well. But I'm in the community.
Yeah.
And like I'd always be watching movies. And in movies, the black churches are like, hey, no, hey, what?
Yeah,
God
yeah,
save us and come
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
rise up. And some guy's like, "Ah," like I'm fucking,
Yeah, yeah.
the devil's
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
out of me.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
all of that drama.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
None of it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, I wish that would have held me in the religion longer
yeah.
if I could like be in a band.
Well, that's the thing that whenever I used to bring my friends to church, and they would see. Now, my youth group wasn't as like wild and physical, let's say, like that, like the worship band, but they were still good. Like on all the players are really talented. Like my friend Mateo, growing up, is a great drummer.
Till this day?
I don't know. Well, he has kids and a family now. I don't know if he practices as much as he used to. By any
Yeah,
means.
yeah.
I think he might even sold his kit, but like he was really good. And back in the day, we used to like after church sometimes I'll go to his house and we'll jam. Like we'll eat pasta. I'll eat pasta with his family, and then when we're done, we go downstairs and we just jam for hours, and then we'll go back to church at night because the church I went to had services on Sunday night as well. But my family didn't always go. But the older I got, I had my own car. I had a car at that point, so it's like I'll go to his house, we jam, and then he'll go to church. I'll just fuck off and go home. But yeah, I played a lot of music within church, so I feel like maybe doing both. Those made my parents
Like
happy.
the church side of the
yeah, like
non-church
you know,
side.
it made them happy. Like look, he's using his talent to play with his friends and have fun, and then glorify God, I guess. But then apparently,
Would they issue you the music to play in the church band?
oh yeah, they had to. Yeah, there's a lot of like worship
Church
songs.
hymn. They're not hymns. Are like
There's some hymns because they're transposed into chords, so it's just like way easier
Gotcha.
to learn.
Okay.
And to play.
Gotcha.
Because at the time I was able to read staff music, but it's fucking tough and it's not fun. Reading staff music is not fun. It's like with the lines and it says that there's a treble clef and the beats and the
Is staff music the same as regular written music?
yeah, dude.
That the word for it
you
is
could
staff?
legitimately have staff music for like a Cardi B song or a fucking The Baby song.
And
Like,
it'll be, and if followed perfectly, it'll recreate it perfectly.
it's just like it's not a fun. It's not a fun way to learn how to play music. That's why like I'm glad when I took my bass lessons, I learned tablature, which is like basically the what fret and what string you're on, especially with bass, like for strings. So it's like you could play like 3 on the A string and then 5 on the D string, and so it makes it so rudimentary and easy to pick up and learn how to learn songs.
Yes.
And then later on within church, I had a cousin who showed me chords. So it was like that's the 3 on the A string is a C. I'm like, okay, cool. C. So like it was easier for me. And
So
then
do
later
that.
on,
What is that? 3 on the A
so
string.
it's like
What does that mean?
it's a C.
So you hit it 3 times?
Not even, no. It's just like a guitar neck, a bass neck, whatever has like frets. Those
Yeah.
like metal lines,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The frets. So the third one on the
Oh.
second string down, which is the A string,
Yeah.
is a C.
Damn, bro.
And it just makes things easier to write. And then later on, I started writing songs for my band like that. So I'll write the lyrics and then I'll put the note, like the chords on top of where they go. And it's just way easier to learn
Damn.
shit. And staff music is like the most further extent, which is the most original.
like an orchestra.
Yeah, stuff that like orchestras read. And that's why I was kind of like, some of that it seemed kind of like dry and stale or whatever, because it didn't make it as fun. But the ones that just had chords, it was wicked. And we had our church had a great band. Like horn section, like funky shit. Like it was
Like
good.
listening to you, I can feel the excitement off it. You had a good time there.
I enjoyed it because as a young musician,
Yeah.
I learned how to play with other people.
Yeah.
And jamming, playing music. I think it's corny sometimes to say it, but I very much consider like me playing music as like a talent of mine that I have, and it was a thing I got to share with other friends who also had an equal kind of talent as I did. And it's a fun, I don't know, it's a fun like camaraderie thing. And
Muslims, we need to cultivate more of this. We need to get some sort of band thing. Like we're jamming for God. Like Like maybe in California, there's like, I
yeah.
imagine like in America, like the newer generation of Muslims are like that. But the way I grew up is like in a community of all these people who are either first generation or they themselves immigrated to Canada. So the vibe is very back home vibe.
Right.
It's not this new amalgamated like modern thing, which I think it is with like a lot of Christianity and the newer stuff.
It's kind of a smart idea, to be honest, because like I said, most of my friends that would come to my youth groups or like Sunday morning services, they would actually enjoy it way more than they thought they would because the band was good. Like the music was good. It wasn't stale. It wasn't corny. And we had good players. So it's like, especially our church, we had like really good players. Like good drummers, good keyboard players, good like horn players. Like it was sick.
So it was a youth group and you played, right?
Yeah.
So would they be like, guys, okay, gather around. We're gonna talk about like Jesus, and then when we're done talking about Jesus, then we can play for an hour.
It's
would they be
kind of
that?
the opposite. It's kind of the opposite. You start off with the worship.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
you start off with the worship. You sing like, depending how long you have, like 4 or 5 songs, let's say.
with music.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everyone sings, even the pastor, whatever, and then one last song, and then the pastor goes up and he does the sermon.
Yeah.
Now, depending the energy of the service, the pastor could be like, have an altar. We're gonna have an altar call, which means you could go up to the altar and pray. He'll pray with you, or the youth leaders will pray with you at the altar. And sometimes the band will go up and sing, they'll play like very melodramatic synthy music, very moody music,
like choir.
Not even choir. They play basically meditation music. You know, when you go on YouTube, you're like, I need to meditate for 4
yeah,
hours. It's like those loops of just like synthy beats.
Yeah. Don't kill yourself.
Pretty kind of, honestly, like to an extent, kind of like that. You know what I mean? Like very moody, like big feeling music.
Gotcha.
And because you're praying, and it's very
like
similar
in the dramatic movie.
It is, yeah, pretty much because that's how I think that's maybe how you get the most out of prayer. To be honest, maybe if you want to like,
that's what I'm saying.
You add a little extra, and it feels so much nicer. The same way that when you go get a massage, you're more likely to have like really soothing background music
because you puts you into a mindset.
Exactly. Exactly it. So it's so that's and then sometimes it'll go. Sometimes that the energy will come and it'll be such a nice vibe. Everyone will be blessed, and then next thing you know, we're playing another 3 songs, and everyone's at the altar jumping, almost like a little mosh pit. So every time that happened, I was so stoked on that. That made me so happy.
We missed out big time. The youth groups and stuff in like the mosque. It's not that, my friend. Okay, it is warnings, and it is just fucking like, listen, they are out there. They are this. We cannot backbite. We are Muslims. Okay. The Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the Prophet, he said every day he ate the date twice. But how? How can a man like this? We're just like fucking listening and like going home and watching Inuyasha on
But
YTV.
Is that moderately changing for, because within a conversation we had on my pod, you brought up how there's like a gay imam in like in Australia, I think.
Though we did a joke on this podcast a while back about like a gay man being like peace unto you and unto you, or like the joke of it. And then someone actually commented on that video that Australia has a Somali gay imam, and they sent me the link.
Oh wow.
And I was like, look at it. I was like, damn. See, that's an example of that progressive shit that I'm telling you about, the modernized of it. Not in London, Ontario, where I grew up. It was none of that. There's none of this out of the box religious
do you
leader.
think in maybe like 20 years they would have like
without a doubt,
like a Muslim worship service?
Oh, listen, Christianity, Islam. The way I look at all of them as big corporations. And for corporations to survive, they must acclimate. They must adjust. So with time, when it like even the Pope. Remember when I was young, the Pope was like, no gay marriage. And then now the Pope's like, hey, do what you want. He just avoids the question strategically.
He answers.
That's exactly what these imams and everything are going to do with time, because 50 years from now, if you are telling like people gay is wrong, people are going to be like, they're gonna laugh. They're gonna laugh at you at that point. Already, like in Toronto or something, in a small town, it could happen, right? But like as the big city modern mindset and progressiveness trickles its way into the rural areas and like small towns with decades, right? So I'm just saying, like, the idea of that, even right now, even in London, Ontario, which is a medium-sized town, if there's like a limit. There's like an invisible wall where they know they're getting too extremist. And they gotta kind of like, but remember, love everyone, or say some sort of contradictory thing to try to step back. even you could see that wall existing in London. Like, so in 50 years from now, like, you're not going to be able to have a congregation of like 50 years from now is like my children are older than me right now.
Yeah.
The sentiment of that generation is going to be like, you can't be like this
It's
person.
so archaic.
Yeah,
It's
it would be way too. Right now we're at this cusp where it's like, if it's a tiny community, you can say the original things.
Yeah.
Gays will die. We will stone them or whatever.
Yeah.
But the more you get to big cities, you get more of that Australian Somali amount.
Yeah.
Who's like got a nice hat on.
Yeah, so maybe it was like a Montreal thing because I grew up in Montreal. So maybe it's like maybe more.
Montreal for sure would be another example of a place where you would see modernized versions.
Yeah,
of
the
it.
thing that was kind of like looking back at it, it's like, well, in general, when I tell people that I grew up in a Pentecostal household and that like I'm half Italian, it kind of throws them off, or just like half Italian, half Lebanese, it throws them off because I don't think anyone really expects that of either of those cultures. Kind of, you know what I mean?
What is it? Are they Greeks?
I mean,
who has the
my,
biggest
my,
group?
on my father's side, the Lebanese side, we're Greek Orthodox, but we're not really practicing. And then my mother's side, traditionally Italians are normally Roman Catholic, but like I said, we're Pentecostal.
So your mom grew up Pentecostal.
Yeah.
So your dad converted for her.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And
I've never even heard it before you said it. Pentecost. Like, would they be like church?
It's still a pretty new thing, to be honest. Sorry?
Like outside would be like Church of Pentecostal Christians.
There is, I just drove by one the other day. I can't remember where, but yeah, there's totally Pentecostal. And on top of it, like, dude, the Italian Pentecostal Churches of Canada was like a small association, and there's 3 or 4 churches in Toronto that we would be affiliated with.
Damn.
So it's like I would come to Toronto to play bass with the worship group at different like worship services around the city. So and I remember, and the thing that's crazy is that one of the first time I ever did that was at Ossington Pentecostal Church on Ossington near Bloor, and now I live around the corner. And that pastor was formerly my old church's senior pastor. And he's still, I mean, I hope,
still there?
Knock on wood, I guess he's still alive. And I don't know, I haven't seen him in years, dude. And he was already kind of an older dude when I knew him as a kid. But yeah, it still says his name on
The
it.
faith has kept them young.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess, and yeah, and I remember playing that church, like, and then like the Saturday we had off, and then the Sunday we played a morning service at what other, was it Weston Road? No. New Life, some church, some Pentecostal church somewhere, and then we ended off at some other church.
I got to know about this because in Christianity is a little different from Islam in the way that like there's a lot of like subgroups in Christianity.
Yeah.
Islam has them too. There's like Ahmadi and there's like Sunni, Shia, obviously all that. But like for the most part, it's like Muslim, Sunni, Shia, and then like there's like some other ones that are like a tiny fraction. Whereas it seems like in Christianity, there's Greek Orthodox. There's Protestant, Catholic, and then under them there's I don't know where Mormon, how far in the fucking branches that goes.
Dude, it's tough. I feel like sometimes I have to do way more research. That's on my own.
What I want to know is is there like this may be stupid. Is there like a ranking system, or does everybody think whatever theirs is the right one for sure?
Yeah, you know what, dude? Okay, this is the thing. That's what I kind of don't like about because in the God talks about like humility and modesty and being earnest and this and that, and but the thing is I always got that. I never really got that impression because I remember one time as a kid at Sunday school I was just joking around and I just did like the cliche generic meditating pose when I was sitting with my legs crossed and I was doing this. I was like
Buddhist kind of thing.
Yeah, as a joke. I was just joking around with my friends.
Yeah.
I was just, and then the Sunday school teacher got mad and told my mom, and mom's like, "You can't do that, blah blah." And because I'm pretending to do another, I'm pretending to do an act out from another religion.
We're not that one.
From another religion, because it's bad. Like that's the thing, because it's like it's bad.
Yeah.
But then it's like.
Because you can't give kids nuance and subtlety, so you just gotta say no.
That's the thing.
Yes.
So exactly. Yeah. So as a kid now, but at the same time, I don't think they ever really.
Even for the adults, they're telling.
I don't think they touched that subject as much before because it's like, if you're so confident, if you're so modest and humble and confident and self assured that this is what your faith is, and you believe in that,
you should invite debate, right? Yeah.
Why? Yeah, you shouldn't. Well, you just leave that alone. It's like, why are you getting triggered? It's like. The same way that like when edgelordy people do stuff on top on purpose to like trigger people on the left and whatever, it's like, yeah, why you're confident that your left-leaning policies are the way, then why do you care what that person thinks about coronavirus or about fucking George Floyd or whatever it is? Like, fuck that. And it's the same thing with Christians sometimes. It's like if you're so confident that Christianity, that Jesus Christ is the Lord and is the only way.
And Savior.
Well, there's a Bible verse, I'm the way and the truth and the light. No one comes to the Father except through me. Jesus, whatever. Like, if that's what you believe in, then who fucking cares if there's a Muslim family that they move next door and they're excited about the new mosque that they built in the suburb you grew up in or whatever. Like, who gives a shit?
I know.
There's a level of insecurity that I'm like, why does it? Or even gay people,
it becomes team sports.
Yeah,
It's
it's
very
like you're
tribal.
rooting for the
It's like
Canadians. You're rooting for the Hab.
No, not that one. Yeah, that's the Canadians do that move.
Dude, it's so that's one thing I don't like, and I mean, in a general sense, humility and modesty it's a good trait to have, regardless if you believe in everything or you believe in nothing. Like, there's such as a human, it's a good trait to have.
Decent human.
Yeah, it's a human. That's why in my head I'm
yeah.
like, I don't understand. Like, you especially Christians, a lot of them profess and are very vocal about, oh, we're such good, loving, caring people, and then you do shit like that. It's like, wait a minute. Okay, it's one or the other. You can't. It's like there's no gray area. You can't be like, oh, I gays make me uncomfortable, but I'm gonna post a thing saying LGBTQ. It's like, no, you either you're in or you're out. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Understand, or and that's it. And if you're out, fuck, sucks. But whatever, do you? But like, don't be. It's just a fucking weird thing. That's partially some of the reasons why I stopped kind of caring for church so much, because it was just starting to get silly.
It just like I always say this, that I was like a devout Muslim.
Yeah.
Until I went to university.
Yeah.
The first year when I met like 8 of my friends who all have who are all damn convinced their thing is the one.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, he can't eat this, I can't eat that, he can't eat this. You know, and it was like, each one of us is fully sure, we're fully raised that ours is the one.
Yeah.
It's, am I really going to see all this evidence and be like, nah, but mine is the one. You know what I mean? No, you'd have to really turn a blind eye.
But you probably know Muslims or like people within your family are Muslims that like are proud of who they are, but they're not gonna start like dismissing, poo-pooing other fucking religions because they think that Islam's the best.
Oh, I have a lot of people that will openly dismiss and say, no. That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. And it's like, that's dumb as fuck. But obviously the world was made in 4,000 years. You know what I mean? It's like, I have like,
but you know what I mean? I'm just saying like,
I'm saying like,
there are some people that have good attitudes.
There's a lot of people that have a great belief.
Yeah.
And they've managed to keep it spiritual and keep it like in their household. And you know what I mean? Like, adhere to it personally. And they don't project it on anybody else. There's a lot of people like that, but there's also a lot of people that are fully convinced that this is the right one and are vocal about it. Shockingly vocal. You know what I mean? Like people saying like one time I had a coworker who was like who'd get really angry at the mention of gays.
Yeah,
Lebanese.
Was he? He was Lebanese. Yeah.
Fully born in Lebanon.
Yeah.
And I love this dude too. Like he just has a fucked up view on this. For whatever reason, this is you can have friends who have totally different views than you. You know what I mean? Still my friend. Actually, he got me that job. But anyways, he would get like the mention if the debate came up of like gay people. He'd get so angry. I'm like, bro, where's this anger coming from? Number one, and, you know
first
what
of all,
I mean?
telling on your part, buddy.
Exactly. Oh, I've always been saying gay. You know what I mean? Like someone in the back, gay. But what's it called? But I would be like, bro, like, how can you, have you ever met gay people, bro? Like, how can you be that? How can you think that? He'd be like, bro, what do you mean? It's in the book. What are you saying? What are you saying? It's in the book. So what are you saying? So it's almost like, are you denying the book?
Now, did this guy like have premarital sex, smoke weed, or drink, or do any of those things, or was he
probably not.
So he
probably tried his best to have premarital sex,
but because that's one thing I was saying,
and just didn't have it.
Because that's the thing I thought was so annoying sometimes, that some people have these views about that,
about
gay people, and it's like the other aspects, like, okay, if you're gonna be against gay people. But you got a hand job on the dance floor the other day by some Greek lady who's missing a foot. Like,
she had a vagina though.
Like, you know, that's what, straight up. And I think I might even mention that when we chatted that on my pod. It's like there's certain things where it's like it's either there's no gray area. It's black and white. So it's like I can't be hypocritical.
What are you saying?
Because like the and on top of it, it's unfortunate. Now maybe I don't know what they do in Islam, but like. They don't really now, I haven't been to church in a long time. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do, like, maybe
Trust me, whatever they were doing in church when you were there, they're still doing.
Oh, probably. Okay, I just don't know if they readjusted kind of like how they talk about certain topics.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when I was in youth groups, there wasn't really much talk about like transgender people and their rights and just how life works. And then racism and stuff. Because like literally straight up within the last like 2-3 years, so many more people have their eyes have been opened to systematic racism in the United States and Canada and this and that, and First Nations and this and that. Like so many people have no idea. So it's like these are topics that everyone, disregarding if you're Christian, you're Muslim, or you're fucking atheist, doesn't make a difference. You're fat, doesn't. Who cares? Everyone should talk. Everyone should at least try to have some of a discourse and understand what's going on. And there wasn't much of that when I was younger, and I don't know if they still do it now. No. And that's what I find so fucking unfortunate about that kind of shit.
It's funny because they managed to have, like, you guys call them sermons, we call them khutbahs.
Yeah.
So the khutbah is like the Friday addressing the congregation. They managed to get very close to topics, but keep it very vague at the same time. You know what I mean?
Probably for that purpose, to kind of
for that purpose, where it's like this lesson that he's saying in these words could have been said 100 years ago, like in these words, and like it kind of seems like he's talking. He could be implying LGBTQ right now. He could be implying race. I don't really know, but it's like. The way I've seen it is they keep very vague and like a strategic distance from topics unless they're very specific, like Arab concerning topics. There's shit happening in Syria. We need to send money to Syria. Yeah. There's shit happening here.
In Lebanon too. There's a famine in Lebanon right now.
And then as far as Ontario is concerned and like all this stuff, like
residential schools,
anti-Muslim hate for sure we will address.
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about how the fact that there's racism in this mosque between like the Palestinians and the Somalis or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to address the internal little strifes.
Yeah, internal things might be a little bit different. That might be a little bit taboo.
But very, very, like, relevant to the actual congregation, specifically that congregation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It may be relevant to them, but it's a khutbah. The khutbahs, I have to give a fresh one every Friday, so I keep it, vague relative to the book. So I can, because if I get very specific, imagine how much writing these imams.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Youth pastors do the same thing. They have to prep.
Just keep it generic and like.
But that's the thing. Besides, I find that it's not. That's like, it's almost like not dangerous. Let's say dangerous for lack of a better word there. But like, the less you kind of have, like have
probe.
your I don't say probe, but like. Okay, like put it this way. During, I think it was like last summer or something. Yeah, it was pretty much last summer. There were so many people that I used to go to church with that have this newer church that they're a part of. And like, they made such a stink about the lockdowns and they can't go to church. But not one of them ever mentioned the injustices with George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, the guy who got shot running in the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like all these injustices, which is like, God doesn't like racism. He loves black. He loves everyone. He's God. But why aren't you kind of like showing somewhat more of an initiative? And then on top of it, now with the residential schools, if anyone should be out there being like, hey, we fucked up, I'm sorry. Yo, church, get on that. Like, in a general sense, it's so silly.
When you say that,
and I don't think people do much about it. I don't know. I never see, because I still follow people on Facebook and Instagram.
But when you say that, though, because they're like in their echo chamber again, they want to be like virtue signal, be like, where's the church? Like, worship, you know what I mean? Because they're in a community of worshipers. So they get points for being like, what the fuck kind of thing. But and then if you go, why don't you care about George Floyd? They could even be like, the church was addressing that. We were addressing it in sermons. You know what I mean? Like, it was being addressed at the church.
You're 100% right. No, I don't go to that church, so maybe they have been.
That's probably
the thing is, everyone, for more people on my Facebook or Instagram, it's like musicians, comics, and some family and friends randomly from whatever. And for the most part, everyone kind of like had something to say and something to shed light on something, maybe share a link to donate to or whatever and blah, blah, blah. But the only people that did not ever really address it much were people that should have addressed it maybe first. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? Like, I just feel like the Christian people, like, kind of shot the bed on that. They just
like the virtuous people.
They put their energy. They put their energy towards getting mad and actually physically protesting on the street, saying churches are essential in French and in English.
There's nobody,
but not saying anything like, "Hey, systematic racism is shit and this is bad," and what, you know what I mean? Like,
no community gets better like pricing on Bristol board than the Christians. The Christians probably have Bristol board connects. The amount of markers and picketing they do.
Do Sunday school when you're 5? It's a bunch of kids in a milling station, just making Bristol boards.
I wouldn't like. You're not kidding, right?
No, I'm not being facetious. Like a slave labor there.
I believe that 100%.
4-year-old Italians wearing overalls, just like making paper,
every time stuff. I'm in Dundas Square, or I'm in another city. Another city's Dundas Square.
Yeah.
There, you know what I mean, like Times Square, whatever.
Yeah.
The people, the people that are going, like the extremist people, are always Christian.
The Christians are loud.
I mean, like the Muslims are like, there's a couple always, but the majority always seem to be like,
the Christians are wild, man.
You're living sin. You will burn in hell. Turn now while there is time. Jesus is this.
But there's a kind
The
of addiction,
salvation
but there's
awaits you.
There's a kind of addiction, dude. Okay, there's a kind of addiction that I find
Addiction or
addiction, like addiction,
Yeah,
like the way that pastors speak or youth pastors
pacing.
speak.
Oh, yeah.
There's like a cadence and addiction that a lot of them use that is like you could pick it up when you if you YouTube like Matt Chandler or
It lends itself to good communication.
absolutely.
They
the
know
same way a politician would
how
realistically speak, right? They know how to
To
speak
get
it.
the words across.
But
You're like, oh, shit.
I kind of like use that on my girlfriend. I just kind of like because I told her we're talking about like witnessing. She's like, "What's witnessing?" I'm like, "That's when you talk to someone of the world, a secular person who doesn't go to church. You talk to them about God and try to get them to come to church. And there's a way to speak to them about it.
The
whatever.
enrollment program they
And
have.
right I started speaking like the way that I used to try to like that I used to try to witness to people. And she was like, "Oh, I get that. Wow." You know, you found a common denominator or something. Like, I feel sad, and you tried other things, and you also just
Extrapolate.
gave the same way I think that realistically any kind of like sales pitch.
Start with fear, love, the need for
I think I said
unity, all these basic human requirements, and branch out from there.
Because I said something like, I know you're feeling sad and stuff, and you're trying to reach out to find an answer, and you're having difficulty. I just want to let you know that God is there. Like, you could just try to pray, ask God, talk to God. And if you don't want to, and if you don't like it, you're not comfortable, you don't have to. But God is there. He loves you. He's there and he loves you. And if you want to ask him a question, you might need some help. It costs you nothing. There's literally zero for you to lose if you just pray.
This is the script.
This is what I told her. And she was like, "Oh my God, wow!" Like,
She's
I never really.
Can I get God's number?
She's like,
It's
"Yeah,
a
who's God?" Yeah. And the other day we were walking by somewhere. I think it might have been actually at like Ossington and Bloor. There was a bunch of dudes, young guys, maybe like 21. There was like a black dude and two white dudes, like witnessing on the street, and they're handing out tracts, which are like the little pamphlets you might see Christian people hand out. This is like a.
They have
like
a white shirt,
It's like
black
a
tie?
beach. No, those are the Latter-day Saint Mormon kind of cats. These are like regular. They're wearing like Nike tracksuits. Like there's regular kids.
Oh, that's the new shit.
They're like hyped, almost dressed like hype kids.
They're like, we listen to Kanye too.
Dude, I think one of them had like those fanny packs that they wear.
Oh,
across.
the weed packs, yeah.
Like they
yeah.
kind of wear across, but it's just filled with tracts, so
That's
they can
so
hand out
funny.
tracts to strangers about God.
You know what's funny about religion? In your sect of Christianity, was there a big benefit? Was there a big reward for if you converted someone and brought them in? Was that considered like?
No.
Did they push that at all?
They pushed it, but not to make you not like, hey, if you bring 5 people, you're gonna get something. There's no real prize because the initiative and the humble initiative behind the whole thing is like it's not for you. You're helping someone else's life. You're trying to help them.
Yeah, exactly.
They need God
but
so
you
bad
get
that you're
blessings
trying to,
for that. You get good deeds for that, or they don't even attribute a deed to it. Because Latter-day Saints and like Jehovah's Witnesses, their whole system is that.
Yeah. Now
is
this
recruiting.
is the thing. Within my church, okay, me growing up in my church, there wasn't so much of like, hey, bring people to church and like you're gonna get something by any means. There's no real.
No, I don't
system,
say bring
okay?
randoms to church, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like we like to. If they pushed witnessing, that's what they're pushing, is it not?
Yeah,
the message of God.
But later on, my buddy told me about this. Is like one of my friends I grew up with, my friend Mateo, that I referenced earlier, the guy who played drums.
Shout out to Mateo. and
Shout out to Mateo
family and
Mortaliti.
kids.
Great, I love that. He's one of my dearest friends. And we're chatting about something, and he brought up something how like some churches are calling it like soul collecting or soul harvest. It's not soul harvesting. That sounds like a metal band. But
Soul purifying.
soul collector. But no, something like they're soul saving or something. They made it sound like I saved like they made it
Sounds
sound
like an
it's
R&B track.
It's like
It's fun.
It's like a ranking from a video game, like how many souls have you saved? It's now it's coming out to it's more almost like a game.
Really?
Whereas before, now mind you, I've never on firsthand experience. He just told me about. We just chatted about a similar subject, and he brought up how like some churches are so extreme about it because there's a whole new revival.
Effort.
I guess effort coming out from the Protestant faith, and it's all about like healing and like coming to my
You know what it
I
is?
have
Just a new-
arthritis, and I go to the altar and you pray. Oh, my arthritis is gone, but it's not really gone. It's just your.
I call
soul.
that a new marketing campaign.
It is, dude. It's big, and a lot of them
just
make
look
you
at
give
it-
money. They
If you
give
just
money.
look at it as corporations,
It is, man.
everything
It's
makes
bad.
sense.
It's really creepy. So some people like that, but some people don't. And my friend told me it's like a lot of the people that kind of follow the revival movement. That was the kind of thing I was trying to say. I mean, the revival movement, they're the ones that are like saving souls or kind of like because if they bring their friend to church and the pastor sees them and prays with them and blah blah, it's like you save someone's life. It's really,
So
man,
wild.
it was really weird because it's not a bad thing to try to help someone in need.
No,
right? At
yeah.
all. It's a great fucking gesture. It's humanity. But to make it almost like
under the guise of some
yes, I got one.
all-knowing thing,
Yeah.
that's when it gets weird. But just general help, just general reaching out and like stopping to help a guy on the street
Yeah.
or a lady on the street that's hungry, needs money, whatever. That's all like a decent person should be doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the systematic like processes in place to make sure your numbers continue growing and that revenue continues coming in and that we continue creating this mindset of the future generations that they have to be a part. You are part of this corporation.
Yeah.
Like just today, my mom sent me like like literally just today, like I was in the weekend. My mom just sent me a thing. She goes, Abbas, please go back to the way you were. Abbas, you were praying. You used to pray. Please pray. I'm sick. I have diabetes. Pray for me. Pray.
She throws in the
Like
diabetes to make you feel
my mom
extra
always
bad.
does. Yeah.
Don't forget my low blood
literally-
sugar.
yeah, literally. My mom always guilts. It's just like a guilt. Like, and it's like, if you have to convince me via guilting, it's like, I get it. I'm at the point where it's like, this is all my mom knows. She was raised in it so fully.
Yeah.
It's like her whole world is justified and makes sense. And this is how she makes sense of the world. And at the end of the day, to be honest, I don't think any of it matters. Whether you believe that, this, whether I'm like, I don't believe anything, none of it, we're all going to end up in the ground, right?
Yeah.
So whatever you need to believe to have a nice ride through here, the best ride you can, believe that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that
Absolutely.
sense, I'm like, she believes this fully. So she's actually trying to save my soul. She believes this so much.
Yeah.
She thinks I'm damning myself by not.
How old is your mother, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, my mom she's born 65. So let's
So like
do the
mid-
math.
like
56
mid
or
to late
something
50s?
like that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that I feel like, because like my mom used to get really frustrated because every time I go on tour with my band, I'll come back with tattoos, and she didn't like that.
Oh,
smoke
Frank,
cigarette.
does your mom have an accent? Is she,
No,
Yeah.
she doesn't. No.
Frank!
Frank.
Oh,
calls-
Frank! That's
just strictly calls me
Italian.
about my. No, just my mother. She sounds like a Montreal Italian lady, I guess. But now
What's
she's
that? Give me that sound. How would she say? Another tattoo?
another tattoo, Gabe. Okay, enough of the tattoos. Gabe, enough. You're a man of God. You don't get another tattoo. That might be stretching a little bit much.
sounds Puerto Rican
But
a little
that's the thing. Well, because think about it. Montreal Italians speak English, French, and Italian. So you're like a trilingual mess walking around.
You could say Montreal and then insert culture, and it's like add French to whatever their repertoire.
Yeah,
is.
it does. I'm
Lebanese
saying-
already speak French,
a lot of Arabs in general, like Northern Africans, and they all speak French.
but in Lebanon they teach French in the curriculum.
Yeah.
French is big for them.
Yeah, absolutely. But my mother used to get frustrated, but it wasn't like because she's gonna benefit if I start going back to church. She just cared for me. So it's like I think it's just like that generation, just like. My grandmother's even worse. My grandmother still. I'd tell her, yeah, I go to church, just to tell her, like, just to kind of shut her up. I was like,
Oh, I used to tooth to my mom.
Yeah.
Just to,
Did you?
but then I'm like, I'm just
Why
kind of living
lie
a
to her?
lie.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me just take on like the sheer like aggressive disapproval she's hitting me with.
Yeah.
I'd rather take this on and be like, yeah, I'm praying, I'm good. You know what I mean?
You say it with an accent.
Yeah, imagine.
You throw in the accent as well.
I gotta know. If you had to, this is hypothetical. If if someone put a gun to your head and said, you're either becoming full Italian or full Lebanese, which way are you going?
Fuck.
Don't think about it. You gotta go full Italian or full Lebanese. What is it, Frank?
Man, I hate that question. I'm again. Oh man, goddamn it, dude.
Give me
I don't know,
Lebanese.
Lebanese, because my family name's already Lebanese, so I
It's
might
like
as well-
Lebanese because it feels less racist to say that.
Well, it's not even so much that Italian. Well, I'm very proud of being Italian. I've been to Italy; it's a beautiful place. Italian people are wild. Like the whole thing when Andrew Cuomo, he's like, I wasn't being handsy. I'm Italian.
Yo, that was so funny.
It
I
is
kiss
very,
him,
it is,
and I kiss her.
dude. It's so funny and it is laughable. But if
that's
you
how
grew up with
Italian-
Italians or a lot of Mediterranean, they hug, they kiss the men. Like in Italy, men like women hold hands, not because they're gay. They hold hands because you hold hands.
In Sudan, men hold hands.
Yeah, men hold hands. It's normal. Like it's just here in North America.
And the
if
triple
you do
kiss.
anything,
It's not just
Dude,
one
in
on
Montreal,
the cheek.
in
it's
Montreal,
triple.
in Montreal, you kiss on both cheeks.
Yeah, but I'm
Rest of
saying
Canada,
a
you
lot
do
of these,
nothing.
they go back for the third. They go 1, 2,
Yeah, and
3.
they
go back for the
Lebanon,
third.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
So
damn.
it's kind of weird. I don't like his whole thing. Like I'm Italian. It's like, yeah, well, kind of not wrong. Like, have you hung out with Italians? Like, they're and on top of the Italians in Italy, they're like super aggressive.
Did you
That's why Italian women are wild over there. They're like not nice. When I went to Italy there, I just didn't like. I thought like maybe I'm gonna get laid in Italy, dude. Yeah, I shaved my chest. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And then like nothing. Women had nothing to do with me. First of all, I'm bigger than most guys because like it's hot and sexy.
I've been to
be
Italy.
skinny.
Yeah.
Everyone's thin.
I just been to Milan, which is like New York. It's not even.
Yeah,
Italy.
I mean, I was in the south, like in Vasto, like on the Amalfi Coast, and it was a beach town. It was beautiful. But
how
like,
are the women?
The women were pretty, I guess. But the thing is,
like they didn't want any part of
They didn't want any part of me
at all. And you look just like you look right now.
Less tattoos and like
less beard,
a little, way less beard and like a little bit more hair, like a little bit.
Okay, that can't hurt.
It was all it was whatever. But the point is, and my body wasn't that great. But anyways, the point is that my friend was like, Gabe, men are just naturally just more aggressive in Italy. That women are so used to it that they have an automatic barrier up all the time. So the way you could go to a bar, or I've picked up women in Toronto at like Starbucks. Okay, I'm not saying to sound like, oh, big, look at me, like a pickup guy. I'm just saying like I picked up a woman at Starbucks once during the day. All right.
When you say pick up, you're saying like you got her number.
No, we had sex.
From Starbucks.
Like an hour or two later.
Yeah. This is a legendary story, and you have to tell this story before you continue. Realize
okay,
that's not normal.
I'll tell the story.
That's not regular.
I'll tell the story.
That's that's called noteworthy.
Yeah, it's noteworthy. It's kind of, I don't know why
like,
I brought that one up.
from Starbucks. Like I think, like I mean, you know what I mean.
I'll explain. It's actually a pretty interesting
bro, I fuck
story.
from Tim Hortons, bro.
Yeah. Oh.
No. Okay, please. Yeah.
So that summer of 2015, I was a bike courier, so I was delivering food around the city. Okay, and I was finishing at 6, and my phone died. So I had to charge it in order to close the app and sign out of my shift.
Yeah.
So I was at Carlton and Yonge. So there's a Starbucks, or was a Starbucks at the corner, right? So I go in there, I plug my phone, I go get a coffee real quick, and then I come back to the seat, and I'm seated beside this woman, and the phone turns back on and starts ringing like crazy. So this woman who's writing notes or some shit, she was like, "Do you mind?" I'm like, "Hey, look, I'm really sorry. My phone died while I was at delivering food. I had to. I'll turn it off. I'm sorry." So I apologize, and I turn it off, and I do the thing, and I get a coffee. I go outside for a smoke, and the lady follows me. She was like, "Your phone is really loud before." I'm like, "Okay, I'm sorry. I just finished work. Like I had to close my order or whatever. Like I deliver food." And then I go back inside, and I'm just wrapping up something, and then we started chatting, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm a writer." I'm like, "Okay." And because now she was writing.
You're like, I bet you are.
But this is the thing. She didn't have she didn't have like a bag or anything.
Yeah.
She had like a plastic bag with like loose sheets of paper and like a pen. It was very bizarre. And she's like, I'm a writer, and I'm trying to write like a poem for a friend of mine. They asked me to write a poem and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. And then they asked me about like, she's like, I need to use internet. She's like, do you live far from here? I'm like, do you want to come over to my house? It was like maybe 6.
Wait, so it sounds to me
so
like this girl was pushing for it. Like this girl wanted it, bro. This guy,
I don't know.
It's whoever sat next to her.
Okay.
She asked you to go to your house. That's not normal woman moves.
Well, she asked me if I had like internet or something.
Yeah,
she asked me about something. So I was like,
do you have a home?
No,
and
at
you
the
said
time.
Yes. That was the test.
Well, a woman walking around with no phone and a plastic bag full of papers and a pen. It's kind of bizarre. So, actually not kind
But you'll
of.
fuck.
Very bizarre.
But I'll fuck.
Just my type of gal. And
she wasn't Italian, so it was perfect. You know?
No. She's apparently she was Jewish. And but she brought up something, and I was like, okay, do you want to use my internet? Like, I don't live too far if you want to come by. Whatever, because I was single at the time. I was single.
And Starbucks has internet,
and
so
that's the thing. I was like, why don't you
I'm not
stay
gonna
there?
ask a follow-up question about that.
So I was just like, okay, whatever. So she ends up coming to my house, and dude, she comes up coming to my house. Now in my head, I'm like, it's just gonna be a weird experience where she maybe just uses my Wi-Fi and whatever and dips,
and
or maybe we're gonna screw around. It was Canada Day too, and I remember because like that night I was planning to go to a party, and so one thing leads to another. She actually comes to my house to use the internet. And use my laptop for the reason.
So it started going exactly as she actually...
Yeah.
And you were weirded out by it.
I was weirded out, but I was single. I was horny.
naked?
I was 27. Yeah. Like, I didn't care. I was
Yeah.
27 at the time, maybe. Like, I didn't care. I thought it was interesting. Like, this is one for the books, right? Like, this is a weird one. And then she's like... And I just finished biking. So I told him, like, look, I have to take a shower real quick.
Yeah.
I hid my wallet.
That's the key.
And so I'm going to take a shower real quick. And then she's like, do you mind if I take one? Because it was really hot. That summer 2015 was fucking hot.
Oh.
It was stupid.
When she goes, do you mind if I take one? You're like, yo, we're fucking.
Because she's like, do you mind if I take one too? I'm like, sure. So I know in my head, I don't want no Me Too. This is before Me Too, but I don't want any Me Too problems. I don't want any issues. So I didn't invite nothing. I didn't insinuate anything. I basically need her to like jump from like my kitchen counter with her pussy onto my fucking face in order to know that this
That's
is gonna be
consent.
initiated,
That's
right?
called consent.
That's consent. That's consent in my book. If you power bomb your cooter on my head, like that means something's happening because I didn't want any problems. And I take a shower, I get out, then we started like kissing and stuff. But she's like, I don't want to have sex. I'm like, okay, fine. She's like, dude, I'm gonna take a shower now. I'm like, please use the shower. Like, I don't know what's going on anymore because I was like, who are you? You don't have a phone. You have I'm not kidding you. Like a Metro bag,
like a plastic shopper's bag,
shopping bag with
loose
papers
pages in it,
but written, like just stuff written.
Yeah. So she's a wandering broke artist, seemingly.
And she kept on telling me, she's like, I know Sarah Hennessy.
Who is who?
She's like the comedian from Toronto. But she's based out of New York now. She was on like Much Video on Toronto.
I missed her.
She's really fun. She's really cool. But anyway, she's like, I know Sarah. So I'm like, I'm not best buds with Sarah Hennessy by any means, but like I know she is kind of. She did one of my fundraiser shows once. But anyways, it was just like random name to like hook me in to like validate and endorse who she is. I was like, okay, the shower's there, and I lived by myself too at the time. I lived in the market at Cecil and Spadina. So she goes and takes a shower, and then she comes out of the shower, and she doesn't get changed right away. Like I was ready, I was dressed because in my head I'm like, she's gonna use the shower and she's gonna leave my house because this is legitimately a person who just wants to use my Wi-Fi and leave. Because I've had situations where people don't actually want to have sex with me. And so they come to my house or I go there and
in my mind, the second she goes, I'm taking a shower too, sex is happening.
Absolutely. But in my head, just don't hope for the best, expect the worst.
Exactly.
And then, so I'm fully dressed and I'm just waiting, I'm watching TV or I'm listening to music, doing something, waiting for her to finish up. Because I'm not just going to like dip in my own house.
Hey, just let yourself out.
Yeah, just lock the door behind you. Like, doesn't make sense. So, and then she gets out and she's like sitting on my bed, kind of wet with the towel on. And then she's like, well, I got clean and like for nothing. Like, excuse me?
Wow. Was she Jewish? Like, she sounds like a Jewish girl. You said she was Jewish, right?
She said, she's told me she was Jewish.
She sounds like a Jewish girl.
And then she was like, she's like, I got clean for nothing.
Like, what's your fucking thing?
I'm like, no, well, didn't you need to use the shower? I don't want to insinuate. Like, I really, and I'm being serious, I try my best, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx myself, but like,
no pun intended.
I try my best, I try my best to not
get
myself
penis,
into
by the
fucking...
way, for those just listening.
Yeah, this whole table is my penis.
Hard.
It's hard to urinate. But I try my best to kind of avoid fucking situations like that, okay? Like any Me Too.
When it comes down to her story versus yours.
Well, dude, especially with strange fucking women that I meet at a fucking Starbucks during the day.
Could you imagine the court? And she asked to come use your internet. And you thought that was normal? Yeah, kind of.
At 6:15 p.m. And like, what? Like, and then we ended up having sex, and it was pretty wild.
Was it good? Oh, bro, it's not gonna be just fucking.
It was nice. It was nice.
When she goes, well, I've just got clean for nothing. You're like, damn, we got a freak alert.
She
condom? No condom?
No, definitely condom. Definitely condom.
Yeah, that's one of those times.
It was pretty fascinating. She squirted a lot.
Yeah?
And now I'm not saying it to be, once again, big sex guy Gabe, whatever, or big ladies man.
He makes them squirt.
No, that's the thing. I don't know. It's just like, every now and then you get a woman with the right vulva, the right clit, the right body.
Squirting is kind of like peeing for them. You know that?
Yeah. I mean, either way, I thought it was hot.
I used to think it was like, I'm the biggest in the world.
I thought it was hot, and I didn't understand. I mean, it's not the first time I've been with a woman who squirted, but I didn't. Dude, I woke up that morning not thinking I was going to have a strange woman with a bag full of papers and a pen squirting on my fucking bed.
Yeah.
And this is maybe like 8:30 now. So it's getting a little later, but still early. And then she started acting kind of weird and a little clingy. And I didn't want to hang out with her that much more. I wanted to maybe see her again if she wanted to, but she didn't have a fucking phone. So I was like, how am I supposed to contact her? Like, was there like a mating call? Or was like a smoke signal? Like, I don't know. How do you reach people? It was really weird.
What if I want a poem written?
So I told him, like, hey, I got to go. And because in my head, I'm like, this woman's homeless. Because in my head, I'm like, I just had, or this woman is, she maybe lives in a halfway house or something. Because like I said, she
was fucking for a roof.
Dude, who goes to a Starbucks with a bag?
Loose
plastic
poems,
bag of fucking...
This is you in court behind this thing. I've said this
it
1,000
was the weirdest
times.
thing.
The poems were loose in a bag.
It was the weirdest thing.
Everyone's looking at you. You fucking monster. They were loose.
You know, but what we were talking about that we came to this story?
You were talking about how like you're not the biggest ladies man and you fuck from this scenario, which I had to hear the story. But we're talking about how women in Italy have a huge guard up.
Yeah,
because the Italian men are just
they're very
they just go
naturally more.
I mean, like he'll talk there.
Marron amico, Francesca, vieni qui.
What does Maron mean?
Marron is technically Madonna, like Mary, like Jesus' mother.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So
Like
different
a
dialects,
respectful-
like say, like technically Marron, like saying Marron a me, like my Mary, my.
Gotcha.
That's kind of sacrilegious
My
to an extent.
beauty, whatever,
But
yeah.
soprano, like in Sopranos, is Marron is spelled
Marron.
with a it's like Marone.
Yeah.
Pronounced Marron. Because when I heard it, like growing up with surrounded by Italians, like Marron, I mean, is like it's like talking about Mary, like Mother Mary.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So,
So
you
Italian men
would-
are just wild like that, and it's like they're very pushy. So women, like when I went with my sister, I went with my family, and like I had to take a step back of having too much fun because I had to very much watch out for my sister because like just Italian men are just Italian men.
Yeah, they're coming up constantly. Rounds.
They're all handsome. They're
Yeah.
confident. Dude, I never seen a group. I saw a group.
She was
of men-
pregnant in 10 minutes upon landing.
Dude, I became Zio Gabriele in like 10 minutes. No, but Italy was the only place where I saw literally like circles of men together dancing together.
And it's not gay at all.
Not gay at all. They even look gay.
The Greeks, have you ever seen Greeks? Greeks do it
They're
here.
all like they're all dancing.
Greeks do it here too.
It's the same. Like here, like North American men, you go to the clubs because you probably do enjoy dancing, but you go because
it's
you want to meet
predatory.
women.
Oh, yeah.
You want to meet women and you want to get fucked up. But there, it's like they probably very much want to meet women as well and want to get fucked up, but they want to dance with their friends.
That's so funny.
Like you remember that Dane Cook joke where he's like, we're talking about like, he's like women put their purses in the middle of the thing and they dance around. Like it says some bit, and it reminded me of that bit when I was there because I'm like, do they put all their cell phones and they're like Juventus keychains in the middle of a circle and they just dance
Juventus,
around it?
that's
Like,
hilarious.
You know what I mean? Like,
wait, literally on the dance floor or like
no,
on a
but
table?
like it was well, actually there was I remember seeing like two dudes on a table dancing beside each other, like jamming.
That's so
It was pretty funny. I thought it was cool. I commended it because I was like, that's. If you like dancing, that's how it should be. You
What was your favorite part about Italy? Did you spend time with family, or was it just like
yeah,
you guys
well,
were at Airbnb?
No, we have a family friend that has a hotel in Vasto, so we got a really good deal. And the thing that was wicked about this place is that now everyone would naturally probably say the food, right? And the food was really good, but the thing I found very interesting about the food is that it's good everywhere. Just the agriculture in Italy or countries like Italy is just 9 times like you could eat a tomato and it's like an apple. Like,
It's better.
Yeah, you've been. You said
I've been to
Milano,
Italy
right?
and I got a margarita pizza and it was just fucking like
It's so
little pesto
tasty.
on the top and it's just like
It's-
the crust, the flour tastes
the
better.
flour's
somehow.
different. It's just like
You're like, what the fuck is that?
Because most of the food that we ate were made by the nonnas and the zias of the family that own, like the grandmothers and aunties that own the hotel.
So it's like hundreds of year old recipes.
Dude, like
They learned it.
legitimately homemade food. Yeah, it was fantastic, man. It was really, really good.
Do you speak Italian?
That summer, I learned as much as I could, but I don't have any time to or anywhere to really practice. I speak a little, like little things, but not enough to like hold an intense conversation with someone. Like I don't ever have to. I'm partially losing some of my French because I don't have to ever use it here.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, that's actually kind of true. So,
Did you ever go to Lebanon?
I haven't been yet. I want to go.
Right now is definitely not the time to go.
No, it's weird because I did a show at Comedy Bar the other night. And I brought up, I just mentioned briefly that I'm half Lebanese. And this lady comes up after the show when I was having a smoke outside. She was like, "Hey, I'm Lebanese. I thought you were really, really funny." I'm like, "Oh, thanks so much." And then her partner was like, "Yeah, I'm Egyptian." Like those jokes about being Arab. And I thought it was really cool. And we started chatting. And the woman was like, she's like, "Have you been to Lebanon?" I told her no. She's like, "You should still go." I'm like, "Are you sure?" Like, "Are you sure?" She's like, "I was just there." But I'm like, "Isn't it a little bit different for you because you're born there and you speak, fluent Arabic?" She's like, "Yeah, but honestly, if you go to Beirut, it might be a little bit better than if you go to other parts."
Oh, of course. I mean, that's everyone.
But that's right. That's
Yeah.
pretty common.
Go to the
knowledge.
capital. Yeah.
Common knowledge. And then she asked me, she's like, "Where's your family from?" And I told her where my family's from. She's like, "My family's from the same region."
Wait, where's your family from?
Like from the south, Ain Ersha, which is like the southern part of Lebanon, closer to like the Israeli border, and that's where. But it's a bigger region. But once again, Lebanon's a small little country, so it's like that region, a couple different, I guess, counties or cities or whatever. And she's from the same region, but she's like, "Yeah, don't go there." She's like, "Don't go, don't go there." But like, you could totally go to Beirut. It's so much fun. You'd love it. And so I'm thinking about it because now I can afford to do it. Like before, I was just always broke, being a touring musician or living here and just doing stand up and putting on shows. Like I was always like taxed and just broke. I just never was able to do any of that.
I know. You got to go to Lebanon, and I got to go to fucking Sudan. I haven't been there in 10 years, bro. I'm all talk.
You haven't been there in 10 years?
I haven't been to Sudan in 10 years.
But when you moved to London, did you visit Sudan?
Yes.
So you did?
Four
Okay.
times
Okay,
since
okay.
we left. 3 or 4 times since. And I
Okay.
would go for like 2 or 3 times, went for like all summer, 3-4 months.
Oh, okay,
You know what I
okay.
mean? So I'd be gone for a while.
It's
And
funny. It's funny that you guys wouldn't go in the summer, in the winter.
yeah,
escape
right.
the-
Well, I mean, we're 6 kids.
Yeah.
We got to be going during summer break. You know, we don't have that much
yeah,
time
it's
off
true,
school.
true.
Like
Yeah.
it's like 10 G's for flights. So you're
Yeah.
not doing it for 2
Is it
weeks.
expensive to fly to Africa?
When you're flying 8 people
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
round trip.
But in general, is it expensive to fly?
You gotta fly. You gotta connect in Dubai.
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah,
connect in like Paris or to find.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I don't. Toronto's not gonna have a direct flight to Khartoum.
and
maybe
not,
to
not
Cairo.
anytime,
I don't
not
know.
anytime soon. Not
Yeah,
anytime soon. Just
yeah.
flying to New York, I had to do a connecting flight.
Actually,
When I went
What
when
the
I went in
fuck?
June to go visit my sister, like to go for my sister's wedding. Yeah, I had to connect in I think Charlotte, North Carolina. or
North
something.
Carolina. That's lower, and you have to come back up.
Dude, it was so weird. It took forever because my initial flight was supposed to be direct from Pearson to LaGuardia or whatever, and I was supposed to leave at 9 a.m.
3 hours,
and
yeah.
get there for like roughly noon. I'm like, perfect. I'm gonna have the whole day to hang out with my sister and do whatever. And then ended up having an earlier flight and still got there by noon. So I left Toronto by like 6:30, and I got to New York at roughly 1.
That's not bad.
It's
Yeah.
not bad, but dude,
At least
it's
you're
not
not
that
hitting
far.
traffic on the way
it
in.
was such a pain, yes. But and wearing like New York, I didn't wear a mask very frequently by any means. Like I wore a mask, maybe like
Because they're
5
past.
times.
They're kind of past that.
They're not. It's not mandatory.
Yeah, gotcha.
They highly suggest it, and if you're fully vaxxed, you can go inside the Starbucks and go inside the pizzeria and grab a slice. Like they won't make a stink if you're fully vaxxed.
What do you say? And what do you go? Hey,
Well, I
you go-
was.
Oh,
I
you
had my
the
card. Yeah,
okay.
because I got my second dose there.
Yeah, gotcha.
Like
And they give you the card
my
right
sister
away?
picked. My sister's a doctor, so when she picked me up, she
She's
brought me
had in the car. Boop.
Yeah, dude. Almost, dude. She picked me up and then brought me to Jamaica Hospital where she works in Queens, and I got the second dose.
Real quick.
Dude, my second dose technically, because it was booked, is still not till another 2 weeks from now.
Wow, that's the
I had
fucking
to
New
cancel
York
it.
connection.
Yeah, I was so fortunate. So yeah, pain in the ass being in and out of airports for like 5 hours, but then getting my vaccination, like my second dose, like immediately, pretty much.
I can't wait. I just was telling my girl today. I'm like, we gotta fucking book something. We gotta get out of here.
Oh, you don't have your second one?
I have. We both have double.
Oh, you both have-
We both
oh,
have
oh, you
everything.
mean
I'm
book,
just
like,
saying,
get out
we
of
have to
here?
book a flight. We have to.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been trying to go to Vietnam for a while. She spent a lot of time in Southeast Asia, and I've just wanted to go to Vietnam for a while. I think we'll.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
If I can find a flight for this Christmas break, Vietnam for a couple weeks.
Yeah,
that'd
yeah.
be fucking-
Oh, yeah. Take advantage. I mean, you have to get a PCR test and do like ArriveCan. There's an app called ArriveCan.
This for Vietnam, but this is for flying international.
Flight and just in general. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure all that.
It's not.
bullshit
That's
out,
what
yeah.
I'm trying to say. It's actually not that hard. It's just you have to do some precautionary things, and like that's about it.
Yeah, I was just like, you get the two fucking. I was just. That's the whole reason I got this vax, so I can just travel without bullshit.
Yeah,
the whole reason.
We'll
'cause I don't even know
travel and
what's in
then
this
do
thing.
shows and stuff
Yeah, yeah.
because in Montreal right now they're gonna be like mandating a
That
vaccination
passport shit, yeah.
which is wild. But I mean, if
That's gonna lead to some fucking class action
it's
discrimination
gonna
lawsuits. I promise
be
you that.
man, because they're talking. I don't know if do you think it's gonna happen here?
Yeah, let's see how successful it goes over there, and then they'll follow suit. I don't know. I don't know.
Because dude, it's like really annoying. Because like all the shows at the club this past weekend were all 30 cap, like 30 tickets, like 30 capacity,
That's so
and
dumb.
there's a big possibility because the Delta variant that we might have 30 capacity shows till like November.
I don't even. I fuck.
And
all
probably
that
same thing
shit,
with like
yeah.
Comedy Bar and maybe Corner now that's like reopened and stuff. Like I'm hope like
I just had a
not
show
helping-
at Comedy Bar that was banging. We filled cab space out. I
Oh,
mean,
nice.
We followed
What show?
the
What
distances.
show is that? The
It's called
Friday,
Freaky Friday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
it was
Sick.
fucking. It went
Nice.
off with a bop. Yo, I do a thing on the podcast where I ask a couple questions.
Yeah.
And I'd like to get your input on these.
Okay. Yeah.
But you're two cultures, so you choose whichever one you want to answer. Okay, so the first question, which I sometimes ask, sometimes I don't, but I go, did you get beat as a kid? Were you beat?
Okay. Not. Yes and no, but not like the way I think people think. Like I get a slap, but I batizut hit in the ass.
You
know
got
what I mean?
reasonable punishment.
Yeah, reasonable.
Gotcha.
Reasonable would
Okay.
probably be the best way to put it. I think
Most
yeah,
people are like that.
reasonable. Yeah, because my parents weren't like, but also my mom was very good at playing games.
Mentally.
Because I remember to get this one time. I remember I was picking my nose, like a kid does, and I put my snot on like the wall. And my cousin was over, and we're playing whatever. And later on that day, my mom was gonna take us to the card store to buy like hockey cards and magic cards and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. And my mom was like, "What is this?" Now it wasn't my sister.
Yeah.
It for sure wasn't my cousin. It definitely wasn't my cousin. And I'm like, my mom was like, "Gabe, is this you?" And I'm like, and I was bad at lying, so I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why'd you do that?" I'm like, "Don't do this." She's like, "Don't do that." She's like, well, "You know what? You're gonna have a punishment." Like she basically said, like, you know, you're gonna get punished. So we go to the card store. She buys my cousin cards, buys my sister stuff, Didn't buy me anything.
Damn. You've
And
never
I'm seeing
picked your
them in
nose
front of,
again.
and then one time when I was a kid, I told her, like, I learned the expression, "You're fired."
Yeah.
Just from like a TV show, like, "You're fired." Mom's like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "Yeah, I'm fired." Takes my coat, drops it on the floor of the IGA, and just like walks down the aisle. And I grab my coat. I'm like, "No, where are you going?" She's like, I remember her saying, "I don't hear you. I don't know you. I'm fired. I don't know you." And looking at the thing, walking down, like from the whole IGA, there's like what 8 aisles of shit till you get the frozen off. I'm like, "No, you're hired. Oh, benefits."
She called you.
I was free. Yeah. She was fucking my brain.
I love
up.
it. That's mom.
Yeah, she was more fuck your brain. Every now and then, I remember one time I fucked up the wall, the window pane. I had tickets to go see Linkin Park in POD, and I was gonna miss the bus to get to the train, so I had to do something, and I fucked up the window in middle of January in Quebec, and because I fucked up the window, the cold air got in and froze all the pipes of the plumbing for the kitchen.
Oh fuck!
And then I left. I went downtown. I went to go see Linkin Park in POD, but the day when I got back, my dad was like, "What did you do?" He said, "Look at this." He's like, "God damn it!" And he punched me. And it was a solid punch, but he was
in the chest. Where?
On the arm. Remember, in the arm.
Yeah.
It's like, "Gabe, why'd you do that? Gabe, this is so expensive." Oh, he's so frustrated. And stuff like that, but nothing like take a brick and start hitting you in the nose.
And you don't know why. Yeah.
No, it was appropriate.
Okay,
if I fucked up,
That's usually that. It's usually
Yeah.
that. I'm interested to know that because of the fucking immigrant upbringing kind of experience shit. The next question is, what's some shit you've only seen either Italians or Lebanese do? Either there or abroad. You only ever seen Italians or Lebanese people do this, you know?
Well, I feel it's like the things that they definitely don't do that is almost more noticeable.
Please do tell.
Because like I grew up in Montreal, so there's like a lot of French families too. So it's like I've been with some families where like I remember one time there was a buddy's my friend's little brother came to the dinner table.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend came in her bra and like ate in her bra.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, French people are wild. They just like, you know,
French are like very
you would
open,
never,
right?
Yeah, I mean, look.
Do Quebec French count as French? Because the French,
I just say French.
are like,
I just French in like
they're
a nebulous.
naked.
No, I'm saying like Quebecois, but like, it would like stuff like that.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck?
Or whatever. Because I remember back in the day, my buddy Andrew Goggins, he's getting married soon. Shout out Andrew. He used to have girls sleep over. I was like, I can't believe he has girls sleep over because there's no way a woman who's not my wife is gonna sleep under the roof that I live under with my parents.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No way. And then because I got cocky.
And that's the Italian and the Lebanese
both.
side.
It's like no. My house, my rules.
Yeah. It's that Mediterranean.
And especially we're devout Pentecostal Christians. If you're not married to her,
she's not.
But then they made, because one time I had a girl over. I played a show with my band, and the girl I was dating at the time, she slept over. And I in my head, I'm like, oh, just sleep in my bed, whatever. Yeah. And we didn't even have sex. We like made out and like fooled around a bit. But I was 18. I had still a single mattress still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. And the morning after, my mom told my youth pastor, and the youth pastor came to talk to me after the worship group. And he pulled me aside and he had to tell, he's like, you gotta respect your parents.
He's like, great strings tonight, buddy. Great strings.
But you killed it, but like, you gotta stop getting hand jobs down the hall from your parents. And but after that, my mom was like, we only kissed. And my mom was like, I don't want you to not have a girlfriend or not see someone, even if they don't go to church or not. Because they would love to have me dated a woman from church, but
of course, yeah.
I didn't. And they're beautiful. I went to church with some beautiful women who are really, really cool, but I just didn't want to have that aggravation.
They're just
Christian,
witnessing.
Dude, bro, a Christian principessa, a Christian Italian.
No.
I would jump out the window like a Abbott and Costello sketch from the 40s, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it didn't make any sense. But she's like, I don't want you to not have. But if they want to sleep over because you're doing whatever and you can't drive them back home, just you can't sleep beside them. Like, they gotta take your bed, you sleep on the couch.
That's surprisingly reasonable, though.
That's the thing.
That's
what I'm saying with my parents. My
thing,
parents were kind of good with that, where they're like, they're very devout Christians, very devoted to what they believed in, but they didn't put too much friction where I'll completely rebel and, fucking fisting my girlfriend, doing blow in the basement while they're praying, having prayers. But they were like, she can sleep over, just you can't sleep beside her. You can't sleep with her. And that was like my mom's.
That's very liberal for
Christian, for Mediterranean Christians. Like, okay, but you can't sleep beside. And that's what we did. And
that's
then,
fair.
And then
I'll meet you in the kitchen.
I told the girls dating, I'm like, this is just what it is. I'm sorry. Like, it's not fun, but like,
that's how it goes. That's how
what
it
is.
Man.
And and I remember I had a Jewish girl because she slept over the same thing, And I told him like this is what it is. So we made out, flew around, but we never didn't bang that time. And
Did this one have a bag full of loose poems as well?
No, this one she was my favorite Jewish woman I've met. She's a fascinating woman. She was an artist and went to art school together, like in Concordia in Montreal. And I remember the morning after, like I wake up from the couch, my dad is like vacuuming the house.
Yeah.
And she's like in my bedroom and whatever. She wakes up, washes her face, whatever. And then I think I make her coffee, whatever. And then I drive her back to her house downtown. And years later, she told me, she's like, Gabe, I wrote like a blog entry about that experience. She's like, I wanted you to fuck me more than anything. But you were so scared of your parents and so scared of losing your liberties living at your house with your family that like I slept in your bed. Like she wrote it like his father was vacuuming the house.
She wrote everything.
She was vacuuming the house while there was
rattled
skateboarding posters
it
on the wall.
The ceilings soulfully.
Like
there was like
a No Effects poster on the wall. Like, you know what I mean? I slept in a single mattress of this guy. Well, and she called me the carnival strongman or something like that.
You got that look,
I guess, and like
the one who got away.
Yeah, I was technically the one that, kind of the one that got away from her, but whatever. It was just so interesting. Years later, that was an interesting relationship. But yeah,
that's so funny.
Yeah, they kind of did that.
The final question is, again, you could pick and choose the side, but what? Yeah, you could choose. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do it for all, but like,
yeah.
I've noticed that when you talk with some people from specific cultures, they'll tell you that like they grew up with another culture. Usually it's a neighboring country is the butt of the jokes. Like they always talk shit about this. Like I've noticed Romanians talk shit about Hungarians. Fucking like, like these people will talk shit about the Italians will talk shit about the Greeks or something like that. What, either from the Lebanese or Italian side, did your parents talk shit about the French?
This is what we're gonna say. It kind of fused together both sides, and everyone just made fun of the French, but then the French would make fun of everyone else. Like I remember, there was like a quarry in Laval, which is a suburb of Montreal. That's where my grandparents lived, and off of Saint Martin Boulevard, there was a quarry that was filled, like it was full of water, or whatever. And I remember asking my grandfather one time, like, Grandpa, what do they do with that? He's like, oh, that's the PQ pool. That's where the French go swimming. And he said, like, the Parti Québécois there, like the people that want to separate Quebec from the rest of Canada. Yeah. Because him, it's like PQs. He just makes fun of PQs. He's like, that's the PQ pool. That's where they go swimming. And I still think that's so funny because he was so quick. Like, he was waiting. He's almost like he was waiting.
It doesn't matter what he
had it in the chamber, dude.
He
had it in the chamber. Like, he was ready to be like, it's the PQ pool. That's where they go swimming. That's where French go swimming.
The French seem to be the butt of jokes in the world.
So the French, yeah.
But they're like created so much.
Yeah,
and like have contributed
but
so
everyone,
much.
But at the same time, dude, the Italians and Irish like built the city. Like, there's a huge lineage of Irish communities in Montreal, which is, people wouldn't think that because it's a French-speaking province, right? But there's a huge Irish community in Montreal and a huge Italian community in Montreal.
I know there's Italians. I don't know about the Irish.
Irish, yeah, there's a lot.
Italians and Irish.
What's it called? St. Patrick's Day Parade in Montreal is one of the biggest in the world. I think it's even bigger than. I think it's even more attended and more. Like the numbers are just bigger in comparison to like I think Chicago and New York. I think it's like almost the same, if not more. It's wild.
Wow,
dude, it's literally crazy.
I had no idea.
Yeah, dude. If you want to rage, in March and
St. Patty's in
Montreal, dude, it's wild. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
Goddamn, brother.
So I would say to Frey, definitely the butt end of jokes. Yeah, French people. Yeah. But they do it to us. They call us tête carrée. The French people used to tell me when I was a kid, you speak English, face relish.
What does that mean?
You speak English, relish face, like that, because like English and relish rhyme. So you speak English, face relish, like face of relish. You know what I mean? Like everyone makes fun of each other.
Yeah, it's like it's shit talking that you can't even. It's like, where's the origin? How does that even originate? Relish.
It makes no sense. It's because it rhymes.
Well, bro, in recess, that's all it takes.
Goulet said the same
schoolyard tactics. Yeah, all you need is a rhyme, bro.
Goulet told me because he grew up in Ethiopia. Goulet, and he said that all the insults are about like if you had a long neck, their insult would be however you say long neck in Ethiopian or in Somalian, that would be the insult. Kind of thing,
and just rhyme with something.
It's just like you have big feet. Oh, that guy's big feet. Like that's the insult. Is he has large feet. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, half of Sudani jokes start with there was this guy. There was once this guy with a big head. Yeah, that's half of jokes start like that. You know what I mean? But anyways, brother, let's land this podcast, man. I want you to look in this camera. Let the people know where to find you.
Okay. Follow me on Instagram, JerseyFresh05. Once again, JerseyFresh05. I post whatever shows, comedy shows I have coming up, or maybe like shows that I'm putting on at the Bovine Sex Club, which is also on Instagram. You can follow them. Great punk rock venue. And I put on a show called Punks Can't Laugh. I'm going to be doing now for next little bit at, I was going to say Monday Fancy. Nothing Fancy.
You do it at Nothing Fancy?
I'm doing it tomorrow. My first show is August 16th tomorrow, but this is probably going to come out afterwards.
Yeah. What's the next one?
But the next one I'm not entirely sure just yet. I'm going to have to talk to Graham about that. But
Okay,
Punks
just
Can't
follow them,
Laugh.
man.
Punks Can't Laugh 2014 on Instagram. Punks with an X. And my podcast, Bow Your Eyes, Close Your Head. It's available where you stream your podcasts about different artists who grew up in religious households, including Abbas and Guled, different comics. And so check that out. And once again, JerseyFresh05. And thanks, man.
As always, all of that info will be in the description below. No need to memorize. Just scroll down right now. You will find this man. And from my end, if you want to support the show directly and check out bonus episodes, please check out patreon.com/the Immigrant Section. Weekly solo episodes every Friday and more. Check that out. And hey, y'all, if you've stuck around this far, do me a favor, smash subscribe, hit follow so you know when these episodes drop. I appreciate y'all.
And smash a woman from the Starbucks with a bag full of paper.
Loose! There was loose! This was a pleasure, bro.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm excited. Yeah, thank you.
Fuck yeah. I'll see you back out on the scene.
Yeah, man.
My guy.
Absolutely.
Until next time, y'all, the best. Peace.
Peace.